Hello and welcome to the Womanifester podcast. I'm your host, Katie J. I'm a women's empowerment coach and a mentor to badass, game-changing women. I'm here to share insights, practices, and resources that help me and my clients manifest with ease. It's my hope that you'll apply what you learn in this podcast to your life. When you embody these practices and mindset shifts on a daily basis, you will notice profound shifts in your life. My clients and listeners tell me that after working with me, they have a deeper trust in themselves, a better relationship with their own inner wisdom, and they are more alive and awakened to their inner joy and happiness. If you want more energy, more self-love, more abundance, and better relationships, then tune in for your daily dose of motivational messages from me and my special guests. If you're ready to live life as your most authentic self and manifest faster and easier than ever before, then you've come to the right place. Thank you for joining. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Womanifester podcast. This week we have Radiance Thompson, and Radiance and I are in a mastermind group together. So when she showed interest in being on podcast, I was like, yes, I want to feature this woman's story so badly on this podcast. So welcome to the show, Ray.
Thank you so much for having me, Katie.
Yeah, of course. So you have quite a unique and interesting story, and I really want to dive into that. You're a single mom and you were combating depression and anxiety and very close to obesity according to your BMI. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where you started in your health journey?
Yes. When I look back at it, it definitely just hits me like a ton of bricks, just knowing that I was ever at that point. But flashback, I guess you can say, to 2018, I was leaving a very toxic relationship and I realized that I needed to truly work on myself. I started to take notice to the fact that I had very little energy for my kids. I wasn't feeling emotionally, physically present. They had like a wellness team come to my job, and they told me when I took, all the tests and, my weight and blood, all of that, they told me that I was overweight and that I had a very, very high BMI. And when I looked at the chart, it showed me that I was within 1% of being obese. It really started to hit me that I wasn't really taking care of myself. And I was really going through a lot, having left that toxic relationship and then being told that I was almost obese, which I never thought I could be at, but it truly can happen to anybody. And then I decided that I truly needed to take some time for myself because I was waking up tired. I wasn't present for my kids. I wasn't really even showing up for myself. I was going to work and every day felt like the same. I knew that I wasn't mentally in a good place. So I took some time off work. I actually took 3 months off, and I'm very fortunate that I was even able to take that amount of time off. Felt like I was in a state of depression, feeling like I just wasn't good enough. At 29, it was very scary to feel that way because I felt like, why am I feeling this bad at such a pretty young age? During that time, I had to take some depression classes. Although the depression class was great, it wasn't really giving me everything that I needed. There was just so much built up, so many things from years of past trauma that I had not taken the time to truly face. I had to realize some truths about myself. And that's when I reached out to an old friend of mine. I had actually known this woman since I was about 13, 14 years old. And I reached out to her because she was advertising herself on Facebook for having Reiki services. And I was like, wow, what is that? She was posting about what it was. And then I reached out to her after so many years. She was like, I've always loved you. I will do this for you just out of the goodness of my heart because you're my friend. I feel like it's the thing that changed my life because I'm definitely not the same person. Reiki is something that basically just heals you from within if you're willing to let it heal you. It allows you to have that understanding of where you need to work on maybe your anxiety, why you have anxiety, your self-confidence, what's causing you not to have that self-confidence, what things in your past are causing you to be the person you are today. The visions that I had during my Reiki sessions were absolutely phenomenal. If you see my pictures before I started doing Reiki sessions and after I started doing Reiki sessions, it was night and day. My daughters, especially my older daughter, she looks at some of those pictures and she tells me, Mommy, you don't look like the same person. That just tells me so much about how phenomenal and how profound Reiki is and how it can truly just change everyone's lives if they give it the opportunity to. I was consistent in doing Reiki sessions. I did it for like 5 months consistently every other week. So 2 sessions a month. That truly just took me to a whole other level. My confidence changed, the way I spoke changed, and I truly evolved into the woman that I knew I wanted to be. I'm still not 100% of where I want to be, but I evolved completely from who I was. And I was able to realize what caused me to be such a woman of no worth. And I'm not saying that I did not have worth. I'm saying that I did not know what my worth was. Part of taking care of your body is knowing that you are worth taking care of your body. It's a part of being committed to yourself. It's a part of knowing that by taking care of my health, I am loving myself. When I did those Reiki sessions consistently and when I took that time off of my job, I started to take care of myself. I started not feeling bad about taking care of myself because I am a mother. I am a single mom of 2 kids. A lot of times there's a stigma with moms for taking care of ourselves. It's almost like we're not supposed to take care of ourselves. Well, if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your 2 kids? What are you showing as an example of a woman that takes care of herself? So how will your kids know to take care of themselves? It's almost like you're perpetuating a generation of not caring and loving yourself. I, in a sense, showed my kids what it meant to fall in love with myself. When I made that decision to start loving myself for the very first time, to be cognizant of what that meant, I just changed and it was noticeable. Not only my kids, but when I went back to work after 3 months, I was at 168.5 pounds at my highest, so about 170 approximately. And I went down to my lowest, which was 132 pounds. I finally felt good. And I'm not saying that weight is a determining factor in how you feel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my weight determined my confidence. I'm saying hitting my goals, hitting my body goals, knowing that I could change my body, knowing that I could change my mindset, knowing that I could knowing that I could become the woman that my daughters could look up to. Those things made my confidence skyrocket. I thank God so much for giving people like my Reiki healer the tools that she used to help me become the woman that I am today and the woman that I am soon going to become.
For those listeners who aren't familiar with Reiki or who have never experienced it, never heard of it, can you give them kind of an overview of what happens in a session and what they could expect if that's something they were interested in?
Yes, absolutely. Reiki is basically channeling energy, and a practitioner, a Reiki healer, will have the patient, I guess you can say, the patient lay on a massage table comfortably. And during that time, the Reiki practitioner will lay hands on the patient. So the Reiki practitioner is actually like a conduit from the universe, transferring energy from the universe through the practitioner to the patient laying on the massage table. In doing that, good energy comes in from a practitioner that has good intentions. And I can't stress that enough because you have to be careful with who you decide to be a practitioner for you. You have to make sure that you're okay with their belief systems because whatever that they believe will be transferred into you. That being said, the practitioner will lay hands on the different areas of your body. So for example, my head was a big focal point for my practitioner because I had a lot of things going on in my head. I had a lot of self-doubt, worries, things like that. So she concentrated on that portion a lot, but that is just one of the many places that I was healed from. The practitioner will also concentrate throat chakra, on your heart chakra, on your root sacral chakra. Chakras, oh gosh, I can go into that for days. But basically, It's like different parts of your body that not only can transmit energy, but also receive energy. That's a giant topic. But basically, by targeting those different areas of my body, she was able to heal those areas of my body, but also to make me understand why I had certain issues that were plaguing me. And by doing that, she freed up a lot of negative energy that was in my body and that was preventing me from becoming the woman that I am on my way to becoming. Also, during that time, because she was laying hands on me and because I had a belief system in God and in what she was doing, when you believe so much in something, it allowed different portals to open up in my body as well. I mean, my visions that happened. I saw so many colors and they were vivid visions. The more I did it, the more that my belief system increased in her ability to move energy. The more that I worked on myself, the more vivid my visions would be. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that
Absolutely.
was my experience.
So what kind of visions would you have? Like what part of that experience was a shift for you?
So I'm going to get into the visions first. For example, I'd see a color in my vision that correlated with the chakra. So for my divinity chakra, my third eye chakra, I'd see colors that would correlate with that. So I'd see magenta colors. Or for my throat chakra, I'd see the blue colors. Sometimes I go on journeys. My most vivid journey with my Reiki was when I went above the cloud. It's almost like I was looking down at earth and I saw magenta mountains and I saw the stars. And I remember when I was done with that particular session, my Reiki healer said that it seemed that my body was floating above and then came back down to earth because she felt a shake. She was physically jolted where she got off balance. And when she said that, I was like, wow, that's intense that you feel like I had transported and this was like slammed down almost back to earth because I actually went on a trip and it seemed like I was within the universe. So I had vivid visions like that.
That's so cool. I've only done a few Reiki sessions and none of them were consistent like you were doing them. And you also mentioned that you were doing meditation and counseling therapy. What other things were you doing during that time, that 3 months that you had off from work that were shifting your energy of those things? What do you still continue to use today?
I do a little bit of everything because I feel like a little bit of everything is necessary. I still do the Reiki sessions. I'm actually becoming a certified Reiki healer in a couple of weeks. So I still do those. Those are forever going to be a part of my life. I do counseling therapy. I go to a psychologist. I actually sit down with him and I talk to him about the things that are bothering me. And that helps me get a different perspective on how to go about things. I do meditation, and I'm a big believer in affirmations, in alignment, and I can't tell you how many times I've been seeing 1111 the last couple of weeks. I believe in saying and believing and repeating things over and over again until you actually believe and feel it and see it. And I think that all of those things, meditation, counseling, therapy, Reiki, are things that you need to continue on your mental health journey. Even if you are already mentally healthy, these are tools to keep you there and to enhance your mental health. I feel like as a society are becoming more aware of mental health, but I also believe that we still have a stigma about the importance of mental health. I feel like we should not feel afraid to use mental health tools to keep us at a place where we are fully aware of ourselves and can understand why we feel a certain way, because our brain controls everything. We're focused on keeping everything else healthy, but why aren't we focused on keeping our brains healthy? So we have to use tools, and I use all of those tools, and I'm not ashamed to say I use those tools to keep me at a place where I can be self-aware and keep growing.
I love that. And I'm so excited for you to become a practitioner of Reiki because the world needs that work. So it's really exciting.
I hope that more people can be open to Reiki and understand that it's just a beautiful form of understanding yourself.
Hello, beautiful soul. Katie J here. I'm briefly interrupting this amazing episode to invite you to connect with me on IG. Through Instagram, I share weekly trainings, community and client highlights, and host monthly new moon ceremonies to help you realign with and manifest your goals with ease. Follow me on IG at Womanifester. That's WOMANIFESTER. I love connecting with like-minded women manifesting their best lives. Okay, let's get back to the episode. And what would you say is the benefit of understanding yourself?
I think we can agree that as a man thinketh, he becometh. And when you regard yourself in a high way, when you know you have high self-esteem, when you know that you have worth, when you have value, when you know that you have a purpose and that you have gifts to give the world, and that you're not ashamed to have those gifts and to have that purpose. I feel like that's what separates you from the masses, because we're so often almost shamed for wanting to be more, for wanting to do more, for wanting to become more. And when you have that value for yourself, you don't care about the naysayers. And even if it stings a little bit, you keep going because you have that much self-esteem and self-worth. Now I know the difference between not having self-esteem and not having self-worth and having it. It's one of the best feelings I've ever felt, knowing that I can wake up, be by myself. I'm a single mom, and single meaning I'm not dating anyone right now. And I'm still okay. I'm not validated by anything other than how I feel about myself. And it's a beautiful feeling when you know yourself so much that no one else's words, no one more than your own.
Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. You're such a powerful womanifester. I don't know if you know that about yourself, but just like the way that you talk about your beliefs and your own inner strength, I just feel very fortunate to have you on this podcast right now. One other thing that I wanted to talk about is your coaching practice and where that's going and what your dreams are for that and what your impact goals are. So tell me about it.
Thank you so much, Katie. I truly appreciate that. With my coaching practice, I see it as ever evolving. I've been in the coaching realm for a year, and I just shared with you I'm getting my Reiki certification actually within a month's time. That's something that I want to add to my current coaching practice, which is focusing solely on food and understanding how to eat purposefully for our bodies, how to exercise, how to just take care of yourself by putting in the right foods and taking care of yourself physically. But with Reiki and food and exercising, what I want to do is show women that they can increase their self-worth, increase their self-confidence, take care of themselves, and not feel bad about it. So my business is called Meals with Radiance. I am Radiance, and MEALS is actually an acronym for Make Eating and Living in Synergy. And when you actually eat purposefully, and when you live a purposeful life, and when you put the two together, you are absolutely powerful. And that's what I want women to understand, that they can be in control of their own lives. They can put good food in their system and purposefully eat in a way that benefits them. I feel like we are starting to become more aware of food, but we also need understanding how certain foods combine together, how they work in synergy, and how they can benefit your entire body, just your entire well-being. And when you add that to a purposeful way of living, you will be absolutely unstoppable. Right now, I see it as something that women will use to empower themselves in the future. But because it's my first year in business, it's like, I don't know if you can relate, but it's almost like you're starting from an infant state and you're just like, okay, what works? What doesn't work? What works? What doesn't work? So I'm very much in that stage, but it's all part of the process. And I know in 2020, the year of perfect vision is what I want to say it is. The vision that I have for my business will start to manifest.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't even think about 2020 being the year of perfect vision until you just mentioned that. I love that. What did you say? Can you repeat the acronym again for MEALS?
So MEALS, MEALS, is an acronym for Make Eating and Living in Synergy.
I love that. that? I feel like everything you mentioned, the eating, exercising, your Reiki practice as well, is all energy related. Is that something that you'll coach on or teach on about through Instagram or other social media or other outlets of education?
Absolutely, especially the energy portion, because energy comes in different forms. There's the physical energy that is always there, and then there's the energy that you have to put into your body to keep your body actually having the energy that you need. And then there's the emotional, mental energy that we also need to make sure we have intact. Energy is ever moving, whether we realize it or not. So I definitely want women to understand, especially how to harness that energy and how to make that energy work for them and not against them. And by eating purposefully, by using Reiki, by making sure that we are aware of ourselves and knowing ourselves, I feel like by using my business, Meals with Radiance, women will understand how they are and who they want to be and how to get there.
Absolutely. And Radiance, where can people go to learn more about you and your work?
So my Facebook page is called Meals with Radiance. My Instagram is also called Meals with Radiance. And right now I have a blog up, but I'm definitely working on revamping my blog, and it's called mealswithradiance.com. So there's a couple of places that people can reach me and find out more about me.
Awesome. What is your biggest goal for 2020?
My biggest goal would be to manifest the vision I have for 2020, becoming more of who I want to be and having that become my daily practice. I have a vision of the woman I want to be, the mother I want to be, but making that become a reality. Having my business where women can come to me and just feel vulnerable and not feel bad about feeling vulnerable and regain their power. Boost their confidence. Having confidence in yourself is one of the biggest things. So just having a place where women can just have the ability to know that they can become more of who they are when they're ready.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Radiance. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you too, Katie.
I know that your time and energy is so, so valuable. So I want to just say thank you for stopping by today. If you enjoyed this episode, I would greatly appreciate it if you took a screenshot of you listening to it and shared it to your Instagram. Tag me at Womanifester, and I will be happy to share it to my Instagram story as well. This helps us spread the word about manifestation, mindset training, and all of the good juju that comes out of this type of podcast. I also love connecting with podcast listeners, so tell me what your biggest takeaway is. Tell me what your aha moments were, and I will gladly share them on my story as well. Can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.